bring that real talk when it comes to sports, covering the news, giving you the truth. Nothing but that real on hoops in the league. All things NFL, we don't miss a thing. Coach Kenny with the coverage, we loving it all day. Picking up the news, tell us wherever the ball lay. With the NFL, NBA, they box so. Sports news in the hands of a man with fair takes. Tell them, coach, statistics and realness that's being spoke. Either hit it for the win or they hitting the goal posts. Either way, we woke up to the news of the day. Any Kenny could call it, he like to talk it out with Ray. Fast breaks down the lane, they better move out the way, or they pulling from perimeter. Curry bury the trade, yeah, they got it. Woo! Duval with the hottest. Chris and Dev like the master and mix it up like it's Logic being modest. They been looking for that real, trying to get it feel. Sports podcast, they run it back on the real. That's a steal, yeah. They never sick, but they ill. Real sports talk going, deliver, signed and sealed. We bring that real talk when it comes to sports, covering the news, giving you the truth. Nothing but that real on hoops in the league. All things NFL, we don't miss a thing.
We don't miss a thing. Some people come, some people go, but what can you do but let them know that we are real talk. Dev, Coach Kenny, what's going on, fellas?
What's happening, Ray? How you feeling, my guy?
I'm excited. I'm energized. I'm ready to go. Kenny, what's up?
Really? I'm good, man. I'm good. Glad to be back on, and just ready to talk some sports.
Absolutely. Well, we are slowly creeping in, closing in on football season. So we definitely got some football talk for y'all. Summer League is finalizing some of their last games, getting some of the bums out of there. I've seen some of these games. Once some of the names I know leave.
Yes, I told you that's why I don't be watching like that.
It'd be bad. Sometimes it'd be bad. I will say Chris ducked another episode where we had a Philly topic.
Wow.
That is becoming all too common. If we don't want Chris on the show, I will just make a Philly topic because he seems to somehow magically disappear.
Where Chris has gone. Where can he be?
James Harden can't get traded, but Chris sure find a way to get out of there.
That's them. That's those guys. I ain't doing that to you, Chris.
Oh man. Well, hoping for the best for Chris. Hopefully he's better than Philly fans are today. Wow. As James Harden is just a different kind of animal, man. Like he looks so, beard and unassuming, but that man is a killer. But beneath that bearded face. But before we get there, there was some talk, some chatter as we went off the air last week as we were bringing up the possibility of looking at the California basketball teams. There's been a staunch oppression of my Steph Curry lauding. Many have come and struck down said words of wisdom. Many have come and found themselves on the losing end of arguments only with personal attacks to defend themselves. But the state of California, what's going on, Tony, has a bunch of really good teams. Sacramento, Golden State, the Los Angeles Lakers, as well as the Los Angeles Clippers, who seemingly have been forgotten in the recent years just because their best players don't ever play. Wow. So as our guests are joining us, so good to see them. Freddie, we will definitely get to it. On Real Talk, we only give you the real. We don't waffle. We stand in it. We don't go no back and forth. That's what we do. So, Kenny, I will give you the floor if you would like to rank the teams in the state of California from best record to worst record. And I might be willing to wager something depending on how ridiculous your rankings are.
He said, "Wait, check him out."
I said maybe. I just need to see where y'all at before we get too crazy.
Oh, let me see. This is actually not that easy.
I know.
Yeah, you could go 4 ways and make a case for any one of these teams to be number one. But I'm gonna go with the team on the rise. So I'm going with the Sacramento Kings
as the best team.
As the best team, I think they're on
the
rise. Yeah, I think they're on the rise. I think they
did
learned
not
something.
See that coming.
Yeah,
okay,
I think they learned something from
Kenny. I didn't expect that.
Yeah, no, I think they learned something from their playoff, from their playoff experience. And a lot of times, people don't talk about it much, but you got to take those lumps. You got to take those lumps in order to be able to, get to that next level in terms of making a playoff run. So I think they learned a hard lesson this past year, you losing Game 7 at home. And I think they're like I said, I think they're on the rise. And I think between Keegan Murray, De'Aaron Fox, the Montes Sabonis, like all of those guys are young in their young prime, not even in their full prime, like they're in the young version of their prime. So I just think they're going to continue to improve. Now, would I like to have seen them do a little something in the agency to kind of bolster the lineup? Yes, but I think I'm saying it more so because I got questions about the other teams between their age and their health. Like all 3 of those teams. The other teams in California have questions concerning their age and their health. So for that reason, I'm going with the young guns at Sacramento for number 1. Number 2, I'm gonna go with the Lakers. Of course, what they did in their offseason. And I still think that LeBron is still going to play at a high level. I think AD is on a mission to really prove that he can stay healthy for a season. I hear he's been boxing now. So,
have you seen him?
I haven't seen him.
You don't want to see it. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm mad that you even put that up there. I'm sorry. Y'all know I'm a Laker fan at heart, but my gosh.
Not for nothing.
If he get in a fight with the air probably win.
No, but I'm saying it's more for the conditioning. I don't know if you guys have ever done a boxing workout, but it's one of the toughest workouts there is. So the fact that he's incorporating that into his off-season training to me is a good sign. So and then they made some really good moves and brought some of the pieces back as well as added some pieces. So I think that they're number 2. And then Golden State is number 3. While they did add a Chris Paul, I don't really think they did enough to me in the offseason to really bolster that lineup. I think they're kind of going to take a step back, to be honest with you, because I think that losing Jordan Poole is going to have more of an impact than a lot of people think. Not just because of his scoring punch. Then they also lost DiVincenzo as well, who was solid coming off the bench. So I got questions about their bench. And then again, the same thing in terms of age, in terms of their core. Those guys are getting up there in age. I think Steph's going to be 30. It's 35, about to be 36. So, they're just getting up there in age. And I don't know how much more they have left in the tank. And then the Clippers are last because, again, same thing. Like you just can't count on Paul George. Unfortunately, Paul George and Kawhi to stay healthy for a full season. So I got Kings, Lakers, Golden State, and the Clippers.
That was well said. I will be honest. Very well said. A lot of sense made. We do disagree a bit. But Dev, Lakers fan.
State number 1, but go ahead.
Y'all already know who I'm going number 1, man. All my Laker fans, we're number 1 this year. I'm going here because my man Freddie just said it. The Lakers got a little bit younger. We're no longer averaging in the 30s when it comes to age this year. You know what I mean? We posted down to late 20s, about 26, 27. So I'm going with the Lakers. I most definitely believe that we will not have a 2-10 start this year. I think that we have a better team than we had in the last 2 years. So I most definitely feel like this is the time that the Lakers, and I think now that we're having our second year in Donovan Ham, that we know what type of coaching style, and he can make an adjustments in game also. So I most definitely feel that the Lakers will be in the lead of the pack. I'm gonna go with the Kings as number 2. I think these guys, I think the league now is on notice with the Sacramento Kings. I think that they are no longer a surprise up-and-coming team. Now, I'm not going to stunt their growth. I would still believe that the Kings can be a top-seeded team in the West and can make at least a second-round appearance into the playoffs again. Because I really like what the Kings are doing with the duo between Fox and Sabonis. You add a Malik Monk, who was a spark off the bench, and then you can interchange him into the starting lineup. So I feel like the Kings still have the edge coming in second. Number 3 will be the Warriors because Kenny already said it. You know, the age difference now with new different changes, a new GM, CP3 coming in. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a little different atmosphere up in Golden State now because I'm pretty sure they are trying to guess of what team is going to be the best team to put out there, whether it's going to be a small ball team, whether they bring in a big, they go with Looney also. So I think that Golden State still has some questions. And with them going, I look like they're going to be playing their young guys a lot with Moody and Kuminga this year, you know, not with a lot of vets on that bench. So I think that Golden State is going to have a struggle trying to figure out their identity. And the Clippers, Coach, I already said it, man. With Kawhi and PG is in and out your lineup, I don't think that Russell Westbrook is going to be your answer of your savior of taking them into a playoff run. I like Coach Lue, but I just don't think that the Clippers. I think the Clippers are everywhere. They got a lot of guards. I feel like the Clippers don't have a strong identity of who they are really. And it is due to PG and Kawhi not being there, because when your stars are not there, how can you base an identity without your stars? So I feel like the Clippers will come in last. So I'm gonna go with Lakers, Kings, Warriors, Clippers.
All right. I see that there's a theme here. And I get it. Some people will never get the respect they deserve.
Oh, stop it.
But it's okay. It's okay because never
always
fear.
deflected to the one per. We ain't even said his name.
Oh,
We didn't even say his name, and you get ready to get
this
defensive.
man is getting up there in age. That's all we said, and that's a fact.
And that's fine. And that is what, as a fan of said team, this is what I want. This is what we need to continue to be fueled to go and do great things. And you know what I'm going to do?
He's saying we, boy. He's speaking French a lot, ain't he?
Because I am a true supporter, I'm going to add fuel to the fire. I think the team that is had the core together. I think the younger team. I think the team that is best positioned to care about home court. I think Sacramento does get the number 1 spot. I think they care more about it. I think they need it the most. And I think they learned a lot last year. I think their youth will keep them in games. To Kenny's point, do agree. There's injury concerns out the wazoo for all the other teams. And I believe most every other one of those teams is one player away from having a really hard time. If the right one goes down on any of those other 3 teams, I think they're in trouble. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I would say the same about De'Aaron Fox. I think he makes them go, but they play much more as a team than I think any of the other 3. So I think they could sustain that, similar to how Memphis sustains life without Ja, because Fox will miss some games. Next, I am going to go with the Lakers.
Hey!
What?
I made some believers. What?
This man here did all of that complaining and got the same list as I got. But go ahead.
I did. This is true. No, I just think their pieces already made. They fit well. I do have a lot of concerns. They got a lot of people got paid and I believe played maybe above their level in contract years. I don't like bringing D'Angelo Russell back, to be perfectly honest. But I think overall they did get younger, and if they can get it to work, I think they're a very, very well balanced team. Maybe the most balanced talent wise of any of the four. Obviously, LeBron's been hurt almost every year for the last couple years, seemingly with not crazy contact. Some of the injuries he's had. I don't know how long we ride this train of him being that version of himself, but I think we'll get him for in a capacity one more year. But we'll get to my follow-up question for Kenny after this. And then the Warriors are a team that I think come playoff time, I think will be positioned fantastically, but I think it's going to take some time. They got to figure out this Chris Paul thing. I'm a believer. I didn't like it, but I trust in Steph. That's all I'm going to say. I don't know how he going to do it.
In Steph, we trust.
But in Steph, we trust. Chris Paul also has an injury history, so that might make this a non-issue sooner rather than later. But from everything that they're putting out, they seem to be embracing this. And I can't do nothing but support it. I think the youth will take steps forward with Jordan Poole out of the way. By all accounts, and Rod is talking crazy.
So you think – So I'm sorry. So do you think Moody is going, guys like Moody and Kuminga, you think those guys are going to take step forwards this year?
I think they take steps forward for the same reason I think Rui and Austin Reeves took steps forward last year.
I can see that.
It's money time. And there's doubt, and Golden State has re-upped basically everybody except Clay. So either you're going to earn this playing spot or we can get you gone. And I think that was the message.
I think CP can help Kuminga and Moody with the pick and rolls, and and with him controlling the offense. I think he can most definitely elevate Kuminga and Moody, in my opinion.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Kuminga. I think he'll get him some easier shots, and then kind of he could be that lob partner for him because CP loves that pick and roll and throwing that lob to the big. So I think that could be a really good thing for Kuminga. And the other thing was, Kuminga was kind of, when there was reports about him complaining about minutes. So I think they're going to try to get him some more minutes to make sure that either you put up or shut up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think not having really any of them play in preseason also sent the message to me that we good. And I'll be curious to see how that plays out. I think minutes will be spread during the season, which is why I think record-wise, as long as they get into the play-in, I think Golden State will be fine. And I think they're going to conduct themselves this season that we have a small window, 2, maybe 3 years. We're going to try and maximize that window by stretching out these minutes and bringing these young kids along. So I think record-wise, I don't expect a lot. I think that I can see them struggling early, and I can see them even having to grind out similar to last year. And then the Clippers, if they get James Harden and they don't give up Kawhi Paul George, I would potentially change my order.
Yeah.
Which gets tricky for my follow-up question. But I just have no faith. Skip Bayless said it like 3 years ago, Kawhi's knees ain't right from inside his camp, and his knees ain't been right since. And probably even previous to that. So I don't believe he's capable of finishing a season. I don't think he's capable of playing more than 30, 35 games. I would love to be wrong. I seen him out smiling, living his life. But at the level they need him to play, when he has to hit the gas, I don't think he can do it. I don't think his body was going to hold up. And I think the Clippers would be in a brilliant place to try and trade him as soon as possible while he can pass the physical. Because I don't believe in that.
Oh, shucks. If he ain't gonna pass a physical now, it ain't nothing gonna change to make it better. That's for sure.
True.
So I think that's their best foot forward. Rod, this is why we just
What is he talking
we
about? He
see
talking
we
about
see life
Jamie
so different.
Foxx? Come on,
He
Rod.
must
Chill
be.
out.
He must be
Chill
talking
out.
about Jamie Foxx in a movie.
Yeah, chill out.
Like we don't even need to go there. And then so that's where I'm at with the Clippers. I like the Clippers, but I think it's tough. Which leads me to my follow-up for you, Coach Kenny and Dev, since y'all had the Warriors third. Do y'all have the Warriors missing the playoffs, or do y'all have 3 to 4 California teams making the playoffs?
Yeah, I think they all. I think they all make the playoffs, but I think that the Clippers and Golden State will be in that play-in section of the bracket. Because again, to your point, I think the other thing that they didn't do that they really needed to do is they needed to add some more size. Like we saw in the playoffs that them not having any depth in that front court, it really hurt them, and they didn't really do anything to address that in the offseason unless I missed something.
They brought in Dario Saric. That was about it.
Yeah, and he's more of a stretch forward. Like he's not even he's not really a big per se. Like, you know what I mean? He's more a guy to space the floor out. But yeah, I just think that they're both. I think all four teams will make the playoffs, and the Lakers and the Kings will be up in that that 4 to 5, the top five seeds. I'm not gonna put a number on it, but I think they'll be top 5 for sure. Those two, and then the other two will be in that play-in part and trying to fight their way in.
Okay. So there we have it. We're all pretty similar. Dev, are the Warriors making the playoffs as the third best team in the West?
I say yes. I said they make the playoffs. Experience is most definitely going to get them into the playoffs because the Warriors are with their experience is above playing position. You know what I mean? I feel like their experience can take out a lot of teams that's unexperienced, like a Thunder, like a Rockets, maybe. Those teams wouldn't understand the experience and what to do trying to fight for a play-in spot. The Warriors would, because if I'm not mistaken, the Warriors was in the play-in at least 2 to 3 last season, something in that nature. Mm-hmm. So the Warriors know what it takes to get out of the play-in and make the playoffs. So I most definitely can see the Warriors can be that third team. The Clippers, I'm not 100% sure, man. I feel like if the Thunder and the Rockets can be the teams that we all kind of projecting to kind of scratch out here to say that those two teams can be scary, they might steal be one of the teams that can steal the last play-in or playoff spot from the Clippers. So I'm not really sold on the Clippers because, like I said, their identity is just everywhere. You got a bunch of guards everywhere, sitting behind Russ. You got your Bone Hollins, you got your Norman Powell, you have, and I'm pretty sure it may be more.
Oh, man.
Terrence Mann. It's like they don't have like a strong identity yet. And if, like y'all say, if Kawhi is not going to be able to produce even half the season, and you trade PG away for James Harden, now how that team really going to look now?
Yeah.
So I'm not really sold on the Clippers making the playoffs. I think they're going to struggle to make the play-in.
Wow, man. This dude is wild. Only thing about that Klay Thompson for Miles Turner, I'm not sure if I'm Indiana if I'm doing that. Like that'd be great for Golden State. Right, exactly.
Right.
And a younger version. You know what I mean? You got a younger version of Klay, although I don't think he's nowhere near the defender that Klay was in in his prime. But the point is they're the same type of player. So it makes more sense for Golden State than it would for Indiana.
Fair enough. All right. Well, I think it's going to be an interesting season. Just for the record, I went and looked. The Kings finished last year at 3. The Clippers were 5th, Warriors 6th, Lakers 7th. So they did all make it in last year, and none of them won it. So,
what do you say? Right? You think all 4 teams make the playoffs?
I look at the Clippers at 5. I think it's tough if Houston is who I think Houston's going to be.
Yeah, I'm not as sold on Houston as you are.
I'm kind of sold.
I think Houston will be better than the worst team in California.
Oh, I agree with. Wait, hold on. I don't know if I agree with that.
The best team in Texas will be better than the worst team in California.
Yeah, no, I don't agree with that. I think the Clippers will be better than Houston.
And Dallas, I think. I find it hard that they won't get it. Zion coming back. I don't know for how long. I think Oklahoma City will take a step forward.
I can see that.
Yeah, I don't know.
What about the Thunder? Was SGA? You get Chet back?
Okay.
Yes, I think they take a step forward. And I think Utah will be out again. I think Portland's going to come up short. San Antonio will come up short.
Mm-hmm. Especially, assuming they're trading Dame. I think
it's really between Minnesota, New Orleans, and the Clippers for me for that 10 spot. Because I got Houston and Dallas moving up. So
I ain't sold on Dallas yet.
No, I think they'll be better. And I like some of the moves that they made, especially in the draft. I like the kid Lively. I think he's going to help. They needed another rim protector. They needed a rim protector, and I think he fits that build. And also, he'll be a pick and roll live threat as well. So I like that. I like some of the moves that they made.
Yeah. So that I think it's tough, and like I said, I just don't think Kawhi Leonard is going to play enough. I think his best days are long gone.
I think he'll be. I don't know about 35. I think he'll get up to about 50.
You think he'll play 50 games?
Yeah, I think he'll get 50.
And that's
okay. Here's a better question: will he be healthy going into the playoffs?
Oh man,
I want to say yes.
I
want to say yes because I think I think a better game plan of preserving him down the stretch.
But I think they've been doing it the last couple of years. It just hasn't. It still hasn't worked. So I can't.
He get to the playoffs and he got to start playing every other game.
Yeah,
you know what? And he got to turn it on.
That's my concern, man. I just don't know if he can make it.
He played 52 last year.
Yeah, see, I can think he'll do at least 50.
52 last year, 57 the year before that, 60 the year before that.
Oh, you just declining. So yeah, I'm sticking with my 45.
Got that man on the Colt 45 plan.
Yeah,
Billy, give him the Billy D. Williams.
Scotty good. Lakers, I don't know where he's at right now. I haven't seen him in y'all summer league. Is he not playing?
Not in the summer league.
No. Is Golden State? Like I said, I haven't been watching much.
Golden State just got blown out by Houston.
Okay, is Kuminga playing summer league?
Nope.
No, that's what I said. None of that. Only this year's draft picks was playing. And
McCollum, I think what to do. Matt McCollum was also playing this summer league too. What's his name? McCall. I can't remember
the kid that won the dunk contest.
Yeah, I think I seen. I think I seen him on just Warriors not too long ago. Yeah.
I could see it's probably because he only had a 1-year deal with Philly, so I think he's a free agent.
Yeah, he was on a G League team. He didn't even get a whole year deal. He would just made a 10-day contract just to do the dunk contest. I
thought they got converted to a pro.
No, he just got a 10-day contract just to do the dunk contest because you got to be on the NBA team.
Who?
I got you.
I don't know, but. They got blown out. They did. But for Houston 4-0. Houston 4-0. Cam Whitmore has been looking good.
We will not put that much stock in somebody.
All right. That's what I said.
Man, I would say the same thing, but the way Houston is handling that off-season business, I'm liking their swag. I'm liking their walk right now.
They got options. They have offensive options. Speaking of people with options that seemingly don't want to take them, I joked earlier that Chris keeps ducking Philly conversations. James Harden is doing exactly what Dame Lillard did, and it makes no sense. Over the weekend, or I think last episode, I shared with you guys that Harden, Tobias Harris, everybody in the world that has any semblance of great relevance was at Michael Rubin's party. And the Philadelphia 76ers took a photo together, and Joel Embiid has come out and said, James, change your mind. We want you back. To which James Harden has put out a statement, or however they get statements out today. Sources say he is adamant about getting out of Philly in response to Joel Embiid's sources quote. So my question for you all is, why is James Harden forcing himself to the Clippers and limiting his trade potential just like Dame Lillard when we see that doesn't work? Dev, I'll start with you.
I think it's a stupid decision, man. You know what I mean? James had let a lot of money walk out of his hand, man. And obviously, he must not be chasing money. I don't know what he's chasing because rings is not it. And I don't think the Clippers is going to get you any closer to getting a ring. So I don't know why you want to choose that destination. I don't think, in my opinion, I don't think James Harden has the same leverage as Dame. I think there's a lot of teams that's willing to go out and sacrifice and say, hey, Dame, give us a better chance of getting us closer to a finals versus James Harden. If this was James Harden about 4 years ago, I'm all in. Bring James Harden in. But, even though James Harden is still a 20-point average scorer, I don't think that's what the Clippers need. The Clippers don't need a guy that can't turn a switch on every night. The Clippers don't need a guy that doesn't play defense every night. The Clippers most definitely don't need another guard. I just said that they got a whole list of guards that's behind Russ. So I don't know why James is doing this, and he decided that the Clippers is his best destination. Maybe he liked to chill in LA. Maybe he liked the LA atmosphere, I guess.
Well, he's from LA, so
yeah, I'm gonna say. So I guess he know that he's coming to the end of his NBA journey. Maybe he feel like he wants to be home now. I that's the only way I'm looking at it. But I don't think this is a smart move from Harden. I believe that the NBA can live without a Harden for a year. You know what I mean? versus the NBA would be like, why Dame is a top 10 player in the NBA in certain people list. How come he's not on the team rosters versus like that versus James Harden, we seen that he's having a decline, in my opinion, each season. So I don't think it was a smart move on him just trying to force his way to the Clippers.
Kenny.
It's hard, man. I try to find a positive angle. I just can't. Like this is because James Harden, he just hasn't built up enough goodwill to want to give him what he wants. Like, and the other part is, the scary part is that if he doesn't get what he wants, we know how he gets down. That man gonna come into camp 300 pounds. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, at some point, you're cutting off your nose to spite your face. So, like, I can't call it on this one. I understand why he would do that, because again, these are this is the only way that these players can create any type of leverage for themselves, because they don't have the no trade clause. So this is the only other way that they could try to create leverage. That's the only thing that I could say to this. But I'm not in no way, shape, or form. I'm not moving heaven and earth. I'm not doing anything out of the ordinary. If I could get him for on the low or for 50 cents on the dollar, that's what I'm doing if I'm the Clippers, because his value just ain't like that.
I think it's interesting. So here's my question for y'all. Who do you think if James Harden thinks he's James Harden, he realizes the Clippers would have to give up one of two players for him. And so does he think he can go to the Clippers, with just one of them and compete?
I don't know. I don't know what is Harden thinking about, in my opinion. Because like I said,
Bro,
it doesn't matter.
Go home, bro.
Yeah, I don't think it doesn't matter what moves you make. The Clippers still not give you a chance of winning.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think he cares. And honestly, I don't think that he's really pursuing or is concerned about winning a championship. I think he just wants to go home and finish out his career at home. He don't care who it takes to get involved in the trade, as long as it gets him to LA.
What a loser. Like, that's just, and I've been a Harden like fan and supporter for a long time through all his failed playoffs. I've argued stats and situations, but this is just loserish. Like, I just don't like losers. And this has every sign of, like you said, I don't care. I just want to go home. I don't care if the franchise is now the joke of California. I don't care about none of that because my money's guaranteed and I can do the fashion and the movies and all my other off-court interests, and we can miss the playoffs. And so I don't like it. I don't like to see it. And I'm all for player empowerment. Like, I am. Pay people what they're worth. And if they exceed that, they should be compensated for it. I've stood by the Wizards giving Bradley Beal a no trade clause. I think Dame is dumb not to have included one when he re-signed his last deal. So I'm for the players winning, but there's a certain level of decorum that you can't act like you're 6 and pout when stuff don't go your way. Like, there are other teammates in those locker rooms. Those are other young players that have looked up to you as a leader and an example. And it just doesn't make any sense. So Juwan Howard's son is actually in Orlando.
Sure is.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting. He's not playing for whatever reason, but that's pretty cool.
They pulled a lot of those top, I guess you could say, guys that's going to make the roster.
They play like a couple games and then they just be pulling. They pull those first round picks. Like, they're not playing the full summer league anymore.
Why not? Who are these guys?
Hey,
Bimby, I'll give you.
Load management starting early.
Yep.
Well, like, these jokers ain't proved nothing. Most of them ain't even gonna be starters.
And Scoot is done, right?
Yeah.
Yep. They shut Scoot down also.
Him and Thompson. Thompson ain't been playing for Houston.
They shut him down once he got hurt. Well, like in the California Classics.
That I can understand. If a guy gets hurt, like, I could understand being shut down. You don't want these guys being healthy going in training camp. And training camp is only a couple of months away. So there's no need to be having guys getting banged up and getting hurt in summer league. And trying to push them. Yeah, that was a nice backdoor. If you're trying to push them into playing in some league for games that don't mean anything.
Like I said, the top 5, maybe, I'm with y'all. The rest of the lottery and the rest of everybody else, I don't see it. But, who am I? But James Harden, do better, dog. Like, I just don't even understand the business of it. This is the conversation I was having with my family. Like, from a negotiation standpoint, this is just like the worst negotiating ever. Like, you've given all your leverage to say, I'm only going one place. So, one, and I wasn't planning to go this route, but this is, at the end of the day, these are black men telling white billionaires what to do. And you're forcing their hand in such a way that it's almost shaming them. That is typically not going to get you the right result. Like, that's just not a good, effective business to do that. And you devalue yourself. And they're clearly smarter than me. They got smarter people around them than me. So maybe it'll all work out. Maybe they'll get where they're going. But if I was either of those organizations, especially Philly, and for everybody that's accommodated Harden these last 3 to 4 years, all right, bro. You can be. You got it. You definitely got it because you ain't him. by any stretch. If this was the first time you tried this mess, cool. But you've been playing games for way too long.
This is third. This is literally his third team that he's forcing his way out of. Like, that's unheard of.
And it ain't like you've been playing with bums.
Right.
Like, he didn't go from Orlando to Utah to Houston a couple years ago.
That's wild, man. I just thought about that. Is there anybody else that has forced his way out of for 3 teams?
And like back-to-back years.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this is like 3 teams in 4 years. That's crazy.
No good.
So good riddance, and you keep him away from us. We ain't really got much else to trade but a bunch of second-round picks anyway.
He not. You don't got to worry about that.
Yeah.
Unless they want Jordan Poole that bad.
hey, Kenny better watch out. He might find a Harden in his front doorstep.
No, they ain't giving up no daggone Jalen Brunson.
Nah.
Oh no, RJ Barrett.
Yeah, he don't want no parts in New York.
They'll put Julius Randle and somebody else in the trade.
Yeah, you gotta relax.
I'm just watch yourself. But in other news, as I said, football's getting close, and I don't have all the people in front of me, but it's a whole lot of names that ain't on teams.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna focus on 2 initially, and then we might end up expanding this list because Kenny, I do want to get your thoughts on a certain former player of yours.
I already know,
but Dalvin Cook and DeAndre Hopkins, 2 potential Hall of Fame players, are currently sitting without jobs. And seemingly not a lot of traction from what I'm hearing in either guy's direction, both of which have made it public they would like to go a couple different places. Dalvin Cook has all but begged to go to Miami, in my opinion. And DeAndre Hopkins has made it very clear where some places he would like to go, Cleveland being one of them. And nobody seems to be taking the bait. So my question for you, Coach, is what's going on with NFL free agency? And will Hopkins and Dalvin Cook be on rosters to start the year?
Man, your guess is as good as mine because I just knew that these guys would be wrapped up and signed by now. So I'm really surprised. And the only thing I could think of is maybe they're trying to wait them out to try to wait to see if the price comes down. Because I know that Dalvin Cook, I believe he was looking for 4 years, $40 million or something like that, if I'm not mistaken, something along those lines. So I think that's the only thing that I could think of is that these teams are trying to wait to see if the price comes down. And that's the only thing to me that would explain it because these guys, like you said, these are high quality. These are, all pro, number one, a number 1 running back and a number 1 wide receiver. For them to still be out here, it's really surprising to me. So I don't know what's the holdup. The only thing I could think of is that they're trying to wait them out and see if they could they'll come down on what they're looking for contract wise. That's the only thing I could think of.
Dev, your thoughts on these 2 specifically, and then I'm gonna get into some more names I'm looking at, and it's a long list. But go ahead.
For Dalvin Cook, man, I think it's because of the price of the running backs. The price of the value of the running backs is very low. Yeah. And, they always keep saying that running backs comes a dime a dozen. So I really think that Dalvin Cook is going to be one of the last of the Mohicans between him and Zeke actually finding the team. For D-Hop, I'm not understanding why no teams had hopped on D-Hop by now, man, because even D-Hop said it. He said that if y'all pick me up, I will make your number 1 wide receiver job easier, which I believe is true, man, because D-Hop, with the terrible quarterbacks that he had, he still would be a productive quarterback. I mean, a wide receiver. So I'm surprised that Buffalo didn't say, hey, let's get 3-headed monster up here. I'm surprised that Minnesota, since you get rid of Allen Thielen, they didn't jump on a D-Hop. I'm surprised. I'm surprised New England didn't really hop on, try to get in him. I was just surprised, like D-Hop is still a productive wide receiver and still can put up I still believe he can give up 1,000 yards this season if he can decide if he can get picked up on a team. So yeah, I'm just not understanding morally why D-Hop is not on the team, especially if the Browns, if he want to go play with Deshaun Watson, man, pair him up with Amari Cooper and Elijah Moore. I think Deshaun Watson will have a field day with Nick Chubb's behind him. The AFC North just got even more competitive if that were to happen. So I'm not understanding. But as far as Dalvin Cook, man, I just think that the market of running backs, nobody's not really looking to pay big money on a running back right now.
Speaking of big money, so I'm just run through a couple lists of people, and y'all can fact check this, but this is kind of wild. So I'll start with, these are listed current free agents: Giovanni Bernard, Quan Alexander, Jason Pierre-Paul, Andre Roberts, Sammy Watkins, Jason Peters, Kyle Rudolph, and Ndamukong Suh, Trey Flowers, Kyle Van Noy, Randy Bullock, Rex Burkhead, Mark Ingram, Kyle Fuller, N'Keal Harry, LaMarcus Joyner, Mercedes Lewis, Jarvis Landry, Carlos Dunlap, Nick Foles, Joe Flacco, Justin Houston, Eli Apple, Melvin Ingram, Byron Pringle, Julio Jones, Kareem Hunt, Teddy Bridgewater, Cameron Brate, Leonard
Kareem
Fournette,
Hunt,
Miles Jack, Justin Pugh, Devin
That's the point right there. That's Exhibit A.
Jadeveon Clowney.
He's still a quality back.
And then Marcus Peters, Robert Quinn, Ezekiel Elliott, Byron Jones, Kenny Galladay, and Matt Ryan and Carson.
He retired.
Who did?
Byron Jones.
No, he was. I thought he was contemplating retirement because of his health issues.
They have him listed as just inactive, but take him off the list. That's a lot of names.
Yeah, that's a lot, yeah.
Especially edge rushers. I'm surprised, a lot of those edge rushers, like a Melvin Ingram and a Carlos Dunlap.
All those guys, they all.
That's something that my team needs. We need some edge rushers, and I'm surprised that we're not even hosting any of these guys for like a workout. Especially like a Houston. Houston led us in sacks last year. So that's a lot of names that
something going on.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on, but these owners being stingy for some reason. Because
do you think that
too much quality veteran talent? And most of those names I listed are early 30s.
Yeah,
like, these aren't old run of the mill beat up players that just can't play. I think did Hopkins finish his suspension?
Yeah, he came back.
He came back after that.
He came back mid-season last year.
So I don't get it. I don't know if they're just waiting to go through training camp and all these guys are gonna get picked up if everybody's price is too high. But he tried it.
He tried it. He tried it.
But I was surprised. And that was Shaden Sharp.
Mm-hmm.
He definitely tried. And that's the sad part. Just
he tried it.
Trying to go back a step. I like what Portland's doing. I don't know if they're going to make it because the West is just really, really deep.
Mm-hmm.
But if and when they move Dame and get something quality back, I think that'll be great. And either way, I think they're going to be exciting to watch.
I was just reading that the trade talks for Miami and Portland kind of heated up. They offered Tyler Hero and 3 first rounds.
I think there's one name they want. And it ain't Hero and it ain't Robinson.
Nope. It's going to be Bam. Bam is the deciding factor. And I think if Miami give up Bam,
you can't do that.
It's no reason to get in Dame.
Yeah, you can't do that.
So we kind of jumping on football real quick. So let's say they do that. Mm-hmm. Boom. Bam's gone. Bring in Dame. If I keep I still got Lowry. That's a money contract. I got Hero and I got Robinson. I can package them and go get a Miles Turner. I can package them and go get another big. Is it Bam? No. I could definitely package them and maybe go get an Ayton if you believe in him. Yeah. Like, I think there are options to replace Bam if you don't give up Hero and too much to get Dame. Now, I think Bam is the best of those listed names. And if I'm them, given what I'm seeing from I want to call him Joaquin Phoenix, and that is not that boy name. The guy they drafted from UCLA.
Oh, yeah.
He fits.
Jamie Jack Hawkins.
Yeah, that kid. Actually, my guy is in Vegas right now. He's a Heat fan. He got his hat autographed by him. And he was able to see him at the press conference. So, true story. Oh, there you go. Got his hat, his finals hat signed. So shout out to Jay. Enjoy yourself out there in Vegas. But yeah, I think he could replace really the combo of the two. He can shoot well. He can create more like Hero. So I think the value for them, you can let them go. I just, for some reason, they haven't figured out a way to do it and bring Dame in. But for me, and this is just me, if Dame is who y'all say he is, I would have traded Bam already. Like, his dynamic ability, and Bam did phenomenal in the finals. He exceeded all the expectations I had. He's not Dame Lillard. And at crunch time, when Jimmy don't want to shoot or he get tired, you want that guy over Bam Adebayo. I think it's easier to find another Bam than to find another Dame. For me. So I don't know what they're waiting.
I'm with you, but
I get it. I get it. Oh, no. I was just saying, I get it, but you're talking about a guy where you got maybe 2 years left. You know, him playing at a high level as opposed to like 7 or 8 years in Bam. Like, that's a hard trade-off. And everything that Bam gives you, not only offensively, but defensively. You know, he can handle the ball, you know, shoots, passes. You know, you could use him to initiate offense. So, like, he brings a lot to the table. So to give him up for Dame, I don't know if I'm doing that. I'm not doing that. Let me be definitive. I'm not doing that.
So if you're saying I'm not doing that, you believe, as currently constructed with a healthy Tyler Hero, you can win a championship. Because you've been to the finals twice now with Bam and failed relatively poorly. Like, we've seen this already.
Well,
we've seen it twice now.
I don't think I'm if I'm the Heat, I'm trying to get a third team to help me out to help facilitate this deal. Because I don't have enough pieces in my, you know, on my roster to make this deal happen. I'm trying to pull another team in, whether it's a Toronto, maybe you could get OG included in the deal. Just trying to.
He doesn't help Portland though. Portland just re-signed Jeremy Grant and they got a bunch of guards. Portland needs big, like real big. Nurkic is cool, but he's not reliable.
Right, can't stay healthy. So.
That's why that's the only reason I even mentioned Paolo last episode, is because they need a competent big. I don't think they need Hero, Robinson, or any player in that realm, because that's going to get in the way of what they're building. With Grant already there for the next 4 years for $100-something million.
Or maybe, you know, I had put in the chat, maybe you flip that deal. There was a 3-team deal that's being proposed with Clint Capella, OG, and some other guys. Maybe you flip that to get Capella to go to Portland, and OG goes to, because it was Atlanta, I believe it is. So
Atlanta, Toronto, and Portland in that.
Yeah. So
Dame goes where?
Dame goes to Miami. Let me see.
Because that would be 4 teams then.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Maybe you sub out. Maybe
So you think
somebody-
Portland takes Capella for Dame when they want Bam?
Yeah, no, I mean, you got to add another piece besides that, but I'm just saying maybe that's the framework of it. It's not easy.
That's what John
no matter how
Collins
you
said
slice
when
it, it's gonna be a tough. It's gonna be a tough. They got to get there. You know, they got to really roll up their sleeves and really be creative with this thing because I don't see any way that this gets done as a straight up 1-to-1, but between Miami and Portland. I think there has to be another team involved.
I think Miami's being greedy. If Dame Lillard, this shouldn't even be like Dame Lillard's top 75.
Yeah, but I'm trying to keep Bam. I want to put him, Bam, and Jimmy Butler together. I'm not trying to give
I know
away.
what you want to do, but that ain't gonna work. And I think they missing it. And you can't, they don't know, UD's in the front office now. So
did he get a job in the front office?
nah, I'm just, I'm talking trash.
I believe he did get a job.
I hope so.
With the Heat.
I hope so.
I can't remember if he part of the scouting team or something in the nature, but I do believe he did get a job with the Heat.
I hope so. He deserves it.
Not according to Ray.
Come on, man.
Been robbing people.
That man part of the soil.
Yeah. And he almost in it soon enough, but no.
Oh my goodness.
I'm just playing, just talking about his NBA career. Relax. But we'll keep it moving. I think I think the NFL, there's some shenanigans going on. I don't know why, but I don't like it. But we will see what happens with those players. But I wanted to take some time here just to see where the wisdom is of this esteemed panel of gentlemen.
Uh-oh.
And so
that's another way of saying old.
It is what it is. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to go position by position and see who you guys think is the best at their position. Now that most everything has settled, everybody's healthy. Going into this season, I just want to see what you guys have to say. So I'll get it started. For the sake of this conversation, Stephen Curry is a point guard. We don't need to do this combo nonsense.
We're not. It's fine. We'll do it for this conversation.
I will start us off at point guard. I obviously have the greatest point guard of all time, Stephen Curry, as the best current point guard in the NBA. What say you, Dev?
I'm riding with you. Steph is number one point guard.
Kenny?
Yeah, for the sake of this argument, yeah.
he didn't look like he didn't want to say it.
He act like he didn't. This is probably
for the sake of this argument, yes.
This is probably the easiest one to pick, if you ask me.
It is. I agree with you.
So now it gets tricky. Coach, who do you have as the best current shooting guard in the NBA?
I'm going Devin Booker. I'm going Devin Booker. I thought, I gave a little bit of consideration to Donovan Mitchell, a little consideration to Jimmy Butler, but I think pound for pound, all of the skill set, I think I'm going Devin Booker as the best.
Okay. I understand that. Dev, who do you have?
Man, this was tough. This was tough because I tried to sit back and tried to think of the actual two guards in this league because there's just so many, as you like to say, combo guards, man. It's just, it's just you don't know who fits where anymore.
None of them. Yeah, you're right. Shoot, Kyrie in that category.
Yeah, just like, do you put James Harden? Because I remember once upon a time,
I'm putting James Harden still at the point, especially after he led the league in assists.
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna have to ride with you too, Kenny. I think D Book is is a top shooting guard right now in this league. I would have had a case for Bill, but dealing with his recent injury history, Bill kind of took a step back a little, or several step backs for me. So I'm gonna have to go with D Book also.
And this is where we part ways.
Okay, who you got?
So here's what I will pose to you all. And this is how I made my decision, because I'm high on D Book, have been since college. Mm-hmm. Coach K, I think, might have misused him as a sixth man, but yeah, Coach Cal. But I don't believe if Devin Booker was in Miami that they get to the finals. I don't know what it is about, and for the sake of this argument, I am considering Jimmy Butler a shooting guard because I think he's too short to be a small forward. I don't see it. And for that reason, and the fact that he's taken them to 2, granted Booker did get the 1, played well, but I've seen Jimmy show up too many times here recent in these big moments and elevate a much lesser team, in my opinion, and got a bunch of undrafted free agents paid. I'm going Jimmy Butler. If I'm assembling my team, that's who I'm not mad.
No, I'm not mad at that.
I also like Jimmy, although he's not the defender he was. I think he's a better defender, even at this point in his career.
No, that's facts for sure.
So we deviate there, but the show must go on. For the sake of this conversation, LeBron James is a small forward. Anthony Davis will be a power forward.
What about Giannis?
I got Giannis as a power forward.
I was going to say I have Giannis as a power forward also.
Okay.
Where do we want to put Kevin Durant?
Small forward.
Small forward.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. So the order is in essence set there. Dev, we'll go first with you. Who do you have as the best small forward today?
It's another tough one. Because I want to say this kid name, man, but he so disappointed me during the regular season, man, because he started off 4th in the MVP vote, and then it's just like as the season went along, he kind of started disappearing from me. But I'm gonna go ahead and say it because I'm putting him out there. Jason Tatum, to me, is my top small forward right now. Because like I said, he can be in that conversation with MVPs. Because in the beginning of the season, he was in that conversation. But like I said, sometimes he just die away. But when he's on, my gosh, my man Tatum is on.
Game 7 points record.
Yeah, he can take over a game. So I'm gonna go with Tatum as my top small forward. Y'all know previously it was KD, but KD's getting up there in age, and injury most definitely hit him also. So I'm gonna go with Jason Tatum.
Did not see that coming, but I like it. This is probably the toughest for me.
Because to me, the next 2 are easy.
Yeah.
Or not easy, but easier, I should say.
I'll be curious what Dev has to say, but I think I know where he'll go. At least for the next one.
It's not a travel. Oh man, I ain't seen Ray strain like that. Wow, the mind is constipated.
He's flip flopping right now. His mind is going back and forth.
It's tough because I feel like one player is better than another player, but another player I think is better than that player in ways. And so, like, I want to go Jason Tatum, I do, but it's hard for me to say one-on-one today if I'd take him over LeBron. Right. But if you ask me about KD or LeBron today, I'm taking KD. And so I'm stuck. But I think I'm going to the same formula I use for Jimmy, I will use here. And I'm going to go Jason. He's figured out how to get that team to the finals. He's come up short. He's had some tough matchups. But when he gets going today, you can't do a lot with him. And so I also am going to go Jason Tatum. For the sake of this argument, I'm going to go KD second, LeBron third. But man, you know how I feel about Boston and picking them losers. But
Didn't stop himself.
can't help myself. What do you want me to do? Coach, what you got?
Yeah, I'm with y'all. I at first I was trying to make a case for KD, but just the thing that sold me that it's the health thing, because KD's last couple of years just haven't been able to stay healthy, and Jason Tatum has been a model of consistency, and he just continues to seem to elevate. So you got to go with Jason Tatum as the best small forward.
Fair enough. We will move on to power forward. Coach, you're up.
Oh, Giannis, definitely for me. To me, he's the last. Like, he's almost like the last bully on the block. Like, we haven't seen a bully since Shaq. And he's the bully of the NBA right now. And I think also, again, the consistency of what he does both offensively and defensively. And it seems like the other part is that jump shot seems to be steadily improving. So I think that we really haven't even seen the best of Giannis yet, which is scary, because it seems like his jumper seems to improve every year. So I got Giannis as the best four.
Dev, your turn.
Riding with Kenny on this one also. I think Giannis hands down, man. When a healthy Giannis, we already know what he can do with a Bucks team, man. Giannis is just go. He's just he plays hard every game. He doesn't take a night off unless he's not unable to play. So I'm gonna have to ride with Giannis, man. I feel like Giannis can get another MVP also before his time is up, because I think that he's able to, if he can develop a consistent jumper, I think that will give him edge over a lot of players. So I'm gonna go with Giannis as top four.
So here's what I will say. Actually, I'm going to tell you what I think, and then I'm going to ask you as a follow-up question. Only for this position. We don't got to do this for all positions. I, too, will go Giannis today. But if y'all had to pick one today for the next 5 years, Giannis is still relatively young. Are you still taking Giannis? If you say in 5 years, who would I rather have?
Yes.
Who would you take over him?
Call me crazy. I like the kid in Orlando. I think he's going to be dynamic. In 5 years, I think he will be an MVP candidate for sure.
You talking about Pablo?
Yeah.
Is he listed as a 3 or a 4?
No, he's definitely a 4 to me.
Okay.
The only other person I think can challenge him, and this is health dependent, is Zion. When Zion plays, he's unstoppable.
Hey, 27.
Like,
ain't a whole lot of people doing 27. So I'm with you there. It's just a matter of him. He just can't stay healthy, man. And it's sad.
It's that diet.
It's a lot of things, as we've learned. But
at least he was honest. Like I heard him or I read him talking about on Gil's podcast. Yeah.
That was a random place for him to pop up. That was dangerous.
Yeah, that he was struggling. At least he was honest. Because, hey, man, I get it. That New Orleans food is next level.
Yeah, when you got a lot of money, it's hard.
Struggle is real.
So he said he's got better people around him, so I'm hopeful for the best. But them two, if they can stay healthy, I think they're the future at that position for sure.
I can see it.
But that remains to be seen. And then finally, maybe one of the unfortunately easier of the no-brainers. I don't know who's supposed to go, but I think we're all in agreement. Joker's the best big man. Best
no, Embiid is no, I'm playing. I just wanted to troll Chris real quick.
Yeah. Got to give it to the champ.
So that poses another question for me. Now that the offseason has settled, we've seen how James Harden is acting. What do we expect out of Embiid next year? Coming off an MVP season.
Still high-level basketball. What do you mean?
So are we going to get a better version of last year? Better numbers, better playoff position?
Gotcha.
Or I'm gonna say no, because I think that the less help Embiid has, the more double team, triple teams, and traps he will receive. He's gonna receive this upcoming year. So if he can't get another star to come over there and help him, and the Sixers is going to be a team that's going to struggle all year, and then Embiid numbers is going to drop.
But let me ask y'all a question. Let's just say, for argument's sake, that they do trade Harden. You think a starting five with Maxey, Tobias Harris, and Embiid, that he's still going to struggle?
Yes.
With two other pieces?
Yes. I believe you have to get a commanding star to command some type of attention. I don't think Maxey will command so much of attention unless he's hot. Once he,
I think Maxey's gonna get busy this year. If they give the reins of that team to him, I think Maxey's gonna get busy.
Y'all think Maxey? Can you think Maxey has a better year than Jordan Poole?
I think so. Well, let me take that back.
What's a better year? What are we talking about? A better year?
I think they'll both be around that 25.
Because he
was 20 last year. He was 20 last year with Harden. So you figure without Harden, that's more shots for him. So I think he gets to at least 25.
So then he's an all-star.
Yeah.
I just had this conversation.
Tyrese Maxey as an all-star, says Kenny.
I see Jordan Poole putting up numbers this year because him and Kyle Kuzma is going to have that Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum type feel. Your turn, my turn. Your turn, my turn.
I think what's missing is Tyus Jones will be running that offense.
Yeah, and that's why I was going to get to. That's why I was going to get to.
I think there's going to be a lot of pick and roll with them too, but Kispert and Tyus Jones will help spread the floor and hopefully get them into sets if they listen. But go ahead.
But as far as Jordan Poole having a better year, I want to say yes, but I still feel like Kuzma is going to be the first option. Only because he was there last year. And I feel like Poole is going to try so hard to make a name for himself, to show you like, hey, I don't need Steph and the Warriors to be this great player. And also I think the Wizards are going to get overlooked when it comes to all-stars anyway. I think that Philly will get looked first before Washington.
We're going to see.
Possible. Definitely possible.
All right, we will see. So let's get to some more rankings, specifically in the world of football. I will say this, shameless plug. Part of the reason I brought this up is because I thought Chris would be here, and he was talking a little crazy.
Oh, boy.
But seeing as how he ducked us and all the smoke, I do want to ask, AFC East, who are you taking this for one season this year? Aaron Rodgers or Josh Allen? Dev, I'll start with you.
Josh Allen. Number one, age. Number two, I feel like I'm not sold on Aaron Rodgers and the Jets yet. I still feel like that wide receiver run for them is almost identical as he was in Green Bay. So I feel like that him going to the Jets is just a different scenery, a different different coaches in his ear and stuff like that. I like Josh Allen. I feel like we all been saying that for the last 3 to 4 years that Josh Allen is knocking on the door of being in the Super Bowl. I feel like if him and Stephon Diggs can finally get on the same page, or even if Stephon Diggs can get on the same page with the organization, period, they still a dangerous team. I still like the Bills to be better than the New York Jets coming out that AFC East this year. I still feel like the Bills can still be a number one team in that division. I just feel like that Aaron Rodgers, man, he had boatload of weapons in Green Bay. He had a Jordy Nelson. He had a Randall Cobb when he was younger. He had what's the kid from last year? Watson, who was emerging to come on to be a top deep threat. He had good running backs with him last year, and it seems like Aaron Rodgers still can't get to the NFC championship, and he hasn't been to the NFC championship in years. And NFC it's kind of easier than the AFC, because the AFC to me is like the West of the NBA. They're pretty deep. A lot of teams, you got divisions that you can arguably say that 3 or 4 of those teams can make the playoffs. So I think that if Aaron Rodgers couldn't dominate the NFC, he's going to most definitely have a struggling time dominating the AFC, in my opinion. So I'm going to go with Josh Allen.
Wow. Okay. Coach, your thoughts?
Same. I think the biggest thing for me is just the continuity and the fact that they already have the chemistry, whereas Aaron Rodgers is going to have to create that type of chemistry with his guys. So I just think for the continuity and the chemistry, I'm going with Josh Allen and the Bills.
I understand all of those points. Last I heard, Stephon Diggs had left practice, and I don't know that got resolved. So I've seen Buffalo for about 3 years now, and to this point, I don't feel like they've addressed the running back situation, which means Josh Allen will be running more, which means Josh Allen will be getting hit more.
Didn't they draft the running back?
Did they?
I
want to say yes, and they still got Dalvin Cook brother as a running back. I'm not saying he's a household name, but it's at least you're not.
They drafted anybody like that. But go ahead.
But the Jets is also, having their running back coming back off an ACL injury. And what's his name?
Yes.
Brees Hall.
Brees Hall, yes.
So, they
got James Cook and Damian Harris, Naeem Hines, and Latavius Murray.
Oh, Damian Harris. Yeah, they got from New
England.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I thought they had somebody.
So, the Jets don't really have a solid running game as of right now. Brees Hall coming off an ACL injury.
Yeah.
Nah, but they had somebody. They had a backup that was still solid too.
Nah, they got rid of him. The dude from
is he gone? Michael. Okay.
Yeah, they got rid of him. Or they let him walk as a free agent. One or the other. Yeah, I know he ain't there no more. I know that.
Won't be the Jets. Michael Carter's still there. They said, unless they got rid of him.
Oh yeah, Michael Carter. I thought you was talking about Robinson. I think it's his name.
Oh no.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot.
I got Latavius Murray too. He's still solid. I think he's solid.
I think so. He's not an every down back. You know what I mean? But can he get them chunk
better
yards?
than what they had? That's for sure.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. So for me, I'm not going to say I have Josh Allen fatigue. What I'm going to say is,
I get it though. If you do,
yeah,
I've wanted him
for like 3 years.
I've wanted him to take the step, and I haven't seen it. And I just don't know. Y'all know I'm not a big Aaron Rodgers fan. But for this year, with kind of think there's pressure on Aaron Rodgers, but I don't think there's a lot of pressure. Versus, I think there's a ton of pressure on Josh Allen.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
I think Aaron Rodgers is going to have a better year. I think he'll figure it out in that offense with the running game. The offensive line still need a little bit of work. I'm not going to lie to you on that. But he takes care of the ball. He's pretty accurate. And I think he's a guy that plays with a chip on his shoulder. And if I had to take for this year, I think he's going to end up having a better year than Josh Allen. They got some stuff to figure out for me in Buffalo. So, yeah.
So do you think Buffalo would take a step back this year then, since you feeling like Josh Allen has a lot to do this year?
I do. I think the class of the AFC will be Cincy and Kansas City. And I want to say Cleveland, but I think they need to get D-Hop. If Cleveland goes and gets D-Hop, I think they have everything that they need to compete. I think Deshaun Watson will be much better this year, but I think they need one more. If they can get D-Hop in on a friendly deal without having to give anything up, I think they enter into that category. But the rest of the AFC to me, I think is good. I think Miami will be good. I can't trust Tua, and a lot of big names does not always equal a lot of wins. I think Jacksonville is going to take a big step forward, but I think it's a two-team race in my opinion.
Fair enough.
But I did want to ask, by all accounts, Patrick Mahomes is going to be the next Tom Brady of this generation. Seemingly, he's on that kind of Super Bowl statistical arc. My question for you guys is, if he is the Tom Brady, and y'all can disagree with that if y'all want, who do you guys think will be the Peyton Manning of this next group?
That's an interesting question.
I'll give y'all some time because I know I kind of dumped that on y'all.
I'm gonna stay home. I feel like Lamar can be the Peyton Manning of this. It really is going to really depend on this Todd Monken offense this year. I really got to see how this offense is going to be ran. But it's to me, I feel like the only quarterback, in my opinion, that because we thought that Josh Allen can dethrone Patrick Mahomes from top quarterback of this generation. I think there's only maybe safe to say maybe one quarterback left that can maybe dethrone Patrick Mahomes, and I think that's Lamar. But that's all going to have to start filling in to see how this new offense and him throwing more this year. So I'm gonna say Lamar right now to take Josh Allen out that equation. So I'm gonna go with Lamar.
Surprise, surprise.
Hey, when you got
man,
you really believe
you gotta be a home with sometimes. It's okay to be a home with sometimes.
So you really believe out of this group, if we take out Mahomes, Lamar Jackson is the next best quarterback in your opinion?
Yeah, because who else got an MVP?
I'm not going with you on that one.
Who else got a unanimous?
Pat Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers keep stealing them, but I got Lamar like fourth on that list.
Dang.
That's not too bad. You know what I mean?
Fourth,
because it's a lot of people.
I got one ahead of him.
It's a list. It's a list that's going on right now. That
he ain't the best quarterback in this division. He might not be the second best quarterback in his division.
Tomato, tomato. We will see.
We will see. Coach, who you got?
I got Joe Burrow because to me, like he's kind of already almost in that same. He's kind of on that same trajectory as Peyton Manning was because he's gone to a couple of conference championship games. He's won one, lost one. He's lost in the Super Bowl. So he's kind of already on that path. So I think it's Joe Burrow.
And we agree. I think Joe Burrow's that guy, but I think he's going to be he's going to get one or two. Jamar Chase, you got to chill out a little bit. You're talking a little too much. A little Memphis Grizzly-esque. Haven't won enough, talk this much. Like the talent, but you got to show me something when it matters. But yeah,
But since y'all on Joe Burrow real quick, do y'all think if the departure of that three-headed monster in the wide receiver room start departuring ways, whether it's Boyd leaving or Higgins, because we already know that Jamar Chase is going to be there for a nice little minute. Do y'all think that Joe Burrow will take a step back then, or y'all still think that he can still thrive, even with just Jamar Chase left in that wide receiver room?
I think he can thrive. I think, and I like, not T. Higgins. Who's the other one? Boyd, Tyler Boyd. I like him. I think you can find another one of him. And he's good enough of a quarterback to make that happen. If Higgins is lost, I think that would adjust their offense a bit. He provides something unique in his size that his combination of size and speed is going to be harder to replace to me. But as long as he got Chase and a solid running game, I think he's all right. And I actually,
what about that offensive line?
I think they'll get that together. That's something that they will invest in. I think they'll continue to draft for it. If not, then this all bets are off, because if he's on his back, that don't do him no good. But between that running game and the other options and his talent and mental capacity, I think he'll figure it out.
I see that. I can see that.
Kenny, did you have anything else?
No. It's Burrow.
Okay. So I did want to start ranking our divisions as we lead up into the season. I wanted to start with the AFC East, since we have spent some time discussing it here this evening. You guys have said some things that lead me to believe I know where you might be going. But I just want to see y'all pick a certain team last, and you're going to put that on paper.
Easy.
I already know who's going to be the last.
Easy, he said.
Yeah, it's easy. I can give you my number 14 right now.
Right off rip.
All right, well, give it to us. Who we got?
New England
Patriots.
Oh!
No hesitation.
Sorry, Rod. I don't understand you're a Patriot fan, but they didn't do nothing. I didn't see them really make no big splashes. The move, that tight end moves they made 2-3 offseason ago, man, we still haven't seen anything flourish out of what's his name? What's the tight end name? Hunter? I can't think of what his name is, but we haven't seen nothing out of that offense yet. So Patriots will be last in that division this year.
Bill Belichick is not happy with you all.
I guess he could be happy with you then, huh?
Facts.
I understand what you guys are saying. I understand why it would be easy to feel the way that you feel. On paper, I don't see it either. I don't know.
But in your imaginary thoughts, what you see?
I don't know what they're doing. I don't know why they haven't given DeAndre Hopkins everything he's asked for. There seems to be an interest there, and for whatever reason, they are not bringing him in and signing him. I believe that will be a mistake. And like you guys, I have them worst in the division.
You did all that.
Right. Like we were so out of bounds and then wind up agreeing.
I just wanted to hear y'all say Bill Belichick is going to be last. I just wanted to hear.
Last year, wasn't he?
Nah, the Jets was last year, wasn't they?
No, I thought the Jets came in third.
Did they?
I'll check.
We gotta check that out.
I thought the Jets drafted before them. I could be wrong. No, the Jets were 7-10. The Patriots were 8-9. Miami 9-8.
Okay.
So who do you guys have as the third best team in the division? Coach, I'll start with you.
This is where it gets tricky because you could go any order. You can make a case for any one of these teams to actually be the number one team.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna go Miami because I don't trust Tua to stay healthy for a full season, and I think the expectations are starting to are getting high. Now I will say this: if they get Dalvin Cook, I reserve the right to change my.
You gonna prime time your way out of that?
I reserve the right to change my mind. But right now, I got them third because I'm worried about it. Like I said, Tua staying healthy for an entire season, and then they had a lot of expectations coming into this season. And Miami hasn't been a team that has normally played up to the level of expectations. So I got Miami third.
Dev?
This was a tricky one also. I felt like this was like the small forward conversation we had, man. And I'm thinking I'm almost getting ready to jump on the Kenny bandwagon on this one. I think that teams won't be too scared of the Tyreek Hill and the Waddle connection this year. I think that teams can kind of just say, "Hey, they fast." You know what I mean? We already know that. It's a given fact. But I'm also just so leery on. You know what? Dolphins going to be my third team. I like the Jets defense better than I like the Dolphins defense. I feel like the Jets defense, even without Chuck Clark this year, I feel like the Jets will still have a subpar defense or a better defense than the Miami Dolphins. So I'm going to go ahead and ride with the Dolphins being my number 3 team in the East.
Come on, Ray. Make it unanimous.
We already know.
Not a chance. Not a chance. If y'all think I'm taking these Jets over these Dolphins, y'all must be, I forget who said it earlier, smoking.
That must have been Rod because Damien ain't been on here today.
I ain't even seen Damien tonight. So no, I'm definitely going with the Jets at 3.
Okay.
The receiving core.
That makes sense. Your hatred of Aaron Rodgers, that's right on brand.
You can call it what you want, but at some point you got to have skill.
Okay. So let me ask you this question after you say that. So do you trust Tua more than you trust Aaron Rodgers?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, you just trust the team.
Just checking.
I trust the team, and that running back, even with Mostert, I like Mostert a lot. I like the receiving core. I like what they've done on defense. That defense, you say you like the Jets defense better than Miami's defense. Mm-hmm. That's saying a lot. I like Sauce. Sauce is probably the better corner, but man. The Jets did just resign.
That's right, Jalen Ramsey.
I forgot Jalen Ramsey went over there since you're talking about corners now.
Yeah. I know.
I'm still proud with my statement. I still take the statement.
Okay. I don't agree, but we will see what comes of it. I think that defense, like I said, with Emmanuel Ogbah, they got who's the other end they got? Christian Wilkins, he's the D tackle. Big time, Bradley Chubb, and then the corners are the corners. Xavier Howard and Jalen Ramsey them.
Well, the Jets just signed Quentin Williams to their.
They did. They got
nice
big money, $60 million fully guaranteed. Much respect, but yeah. And so then it is Aaron Rodgers, who you know what he do. So I think the Jets need more receiver talent, and I'm going Miami. I'm going the Jets for third. So I think we're going to disagree here too. Then,
yeah, we already know who you are with number 1.
You guys have, I'm guessing, the Jets at 2 and Buffalo at 1.
Yeah, for me, yes,
correct. Same.
No, sir. The Miami Dolphins will win the AFC East this year.
Do you think they're going to struggle in the last quarter of the season like they did last year?
You drinking a Kool-Aid?
That's the only reason why I didn't choose Miami is because they went straight cold in that last quarter of that season, man. It was like they barely got in the playoffs. That's my only downfall with Miami.
I don't think they will have that same issue again.
Okay.
I think they will learn from it. I like Mike McDaniel. I don't know if he's always the best strategist, but I think he's a good coach. He's entertaining. I think he's got that locker room. He's going to have him ready to play. And I think it's put up or shut up time for Tua. They did not give him that 5th-year extension. He better ball out or he'll be Isaiah Thomas. So I think he gets it done. I think that team is primed and ready to go. And they keep saying we set records for heat, which means it could be even hotter this year down in Miami, which is quite the advantage from some of those Northeast teams that will have to come down there. And I don't see Buffalo doing it again. I know they've been there, and I think the window's still open, but I think there's fractures in the foundation. And I don't know if Josh Allen's going to do enough to overcome that. So obviously I think they're a playoff team, but I got Miami winning the division this year. So we shall see. Before we get out of here, I got one thing that was on the list, and then there's a fight this weekend we can talk about a little bit. Actually, a guy in my group chat is doing Frank Martin's shoes for his upcoming fight. Okay. I don't know the dude's name, but he did Earl Spencer's before. He's in a group chat. I met him through some other people, so I don't know the guy, but should be exciting. But my question for you guys, and why I sent this out a little bit early, we had a point guard talk before where y'all disrespected Deron Williams, which is okay.
Who? Say no. You talking about Deron Williams?
No, but did I miss that part?
You weren't in that conversation?
I don't think I was in that conversation.
No, you know what? I think it was Chris and Rod that was with us. I don't think Kenny was with us.
I don't think I was on that one. Y'all got to refresh. Y'all got to refresh me. Y'all got to catch me up.
I was saying that Deron Williams was like top 2 or 3 in that era, and then we started listing up all the point guards: the Jay Wills, the Chris Pauls, Steve Nash's. J Kidd in that group at that time, and I think I forget the years we had. It was only like a 3-year window.
Okay,
but they was basically saying like Baron Davis. I think it was in that.
Yeah, there you go. B Diddy. That's who I was riding with.
I think Rondo was in that conversation.
Yeah, Rondo was in that conversation.
B Diddy was a problem in his heyday, boy.
So I felt. And I was saying at the time, there was a time where Williams was arguably one of the best point guards.
Oh, no, yeah, he was up there.
But they was like, nah, top 5, maybe. Just crazy disrespect.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Nah, he was his double cross was nasty.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. It's double cross, but he also suffered the same thing Donovan Mitchell was suffering. The Utah was a top seeded team and really couldn't get over that hump. And like I said, it wasn't because of Deron Williams' play. Like I said, but it was just that them list of point guards during that era, man. It was just like it was kind of hard to. Like I said, I'm a fan of him, but put him over. I think Ray had him over CP3, had him over Rondo. You had him over.
I had him top. No, it was him and CP was the 2, and I had him over everybody else in that window. There were some great battles, but needless to say, my question for you all is, oh man, apparently, sorry, I pulled it up on Quavo's new song. Apparently, Future says F Russell.
Oh boy!
So just figured I'd mention that before I get to the real question. I did not listen to it yet. Could be a slap. It's the summertime. Man, that's got to be tough. If this song is a hit and you got to go out and you know your girl like to go out all weekend, all summer, and you got to hear that verse, You better not play that if I show up at the party. I'm Russell Wilson.
Man, Russell Wilson and Sierra been together for all these years, and you still harping on that?
Yeah,
let it go.
Tell Steve Harvey I don't want her. That's what he said. So my question for you guys, and I'll start with you, Coach, as you've been around the league for a long time. 2 different styles. Whose career would you rather have up to this point? Russell Westbrook or what? That would mean that. What? Russell Westbrook or Chris Paul?
I think I'm going Russ because he said he has made history. Like, I don't think we'll ever see anybody do what he did in terms of averaging those triple doubles. What was it, for 3 years?
Mm-hmm. At least 2.5.
Yeah, like I don't think we'll ever see that again. So I think I'm going with Russ.
It's not what I thought you were gonna say. Dev, who you got?
Man, y'all know I'm a big CP3 advocate, but I'm gonna have to go with Kenny on this. I like Russ. Russ, they're not saying that CP didn't approach the game a certain way, but when Russ came or stepped on the court, you knew he was about business. You knew that he wasn't going to be buddy. I don't know you. You know what I mean? This is in between these lines. We are business. And Russ had a better. It was his durability was better than Chris Paul, in my opinion. I feel like the only time he really got hurt was when him and Patrick Beverly had that little situation, and he sat out for a long period of time. But other than that, his durability with his style of play, because you gotta remember, he attacks the
absolutely
rim, efforts like this with vengeance. And with him, with that style of play, you would have thought injury bug would have bit him, but knock on wood and knock on it, how he take care of his self. That he never had the injury bug really bit him that much. So I like Russ, far as career wise.
Well. What a pleasant surprise. I don't know. Did y'all see that block?
I tried to hold my composure as I was talking.
Was it Sacramento or Minnesota? Oh my God. I don't know who this white guy is, but man, he gonna tell his grandkids about that.
It's a block party.
Get that framed up.
He got invited to a block party.
Sacramento, I don't know. No, I picked them. I said they had the best record.
Yeah, you said number 1. You had them in Lakers number 2.
Yeah. So, dang, I didn't. We gotta actually. We're gonna revisit that question before we go because I forgot to have my follow up. No, I'm with y'all. I like Russ's career, man. I don't know who's gonna give his acceptance speech. Shout out to D Wade saying Allen Iverson will be his speaker for his Hall of Fame acceptance. So shout out to Bubba Chuck getting that honor. I'm sure he'll do an amazing job. But yeah, the history and the consistency is hard to overcome. Now, Russ got some bloopers now. Russ will stress you out.
Yeah, he was the daily boy. Undisputed used to run that
real. Boy.
He had some head scratches, that's for sure.
Hey, but when you play hard, man, sometimes it gets a little Tasmanian devil, but
100%.
Like in the same way that Chris Paul's injuries, I believe, got in him, that and David Stern got in the way of him winning a ring. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen this year. It was Russ's play that got him in position to win chips, but also his play that got him in position to lose chips. And it's like, bro, you could do some great stuff and put up these crazy numbers. And then like Tony Romo, at the worst moment, you just do the dumbest thing. And it's like, what happened?
And when Russ was with OKC, he ain't had that much talent for it to still be averaging those triple doubles.
After KD left, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Like he just went to another level.
So I do lean Russ, and I would love to see him get a ring. I don't think it's gonna be with the Clippers. He seemingly has accepted a role, although I think he might be the starter this year.
But right now, and I think they got him projected as a starter.
So maybe that's why he went there. $2 million, 2 years, $8 million to start. That's a heck of a deal. to get a Hall of Fame point guard at that money. But we'll see what comes of it for him. But I did want to follow up, and I know we got only a few minutes here, but we should be able to get through this quick. So we picked our order of West teams. Who do y'all have going the farthest?
Man,
Man,
I'm gonna go with my Lakers. I think we can. If the team that we had last year can make a Western Conference run, I feel like the team that we put together coming out on in the offseason, starting off the season, I feel like it's a better team fit all around. So I'm gonna go with the Lakers just to be biased also.
I'm going Sack. Like I said, I think those young guys is they learned a hard lesson last year, and I think it's gonna fuel them going into this season, and I think they're gonna make a run.
I think matchups in the playoffs will matter. I would say if Golden State can avoid Sacramento in the first round, I think Golden State goes the farthest. I think there is a immense chip on their back. The jokes, the pressure, the Chris Paul, the it won't work, the y'all don't know what y'all doing. I think that fuels every single one of them. They don't say it a ton until you piss them off. And Clay loves to do this. I think Wiggins will bounce back. I think it's a prove-it year for almost everybody on that roster, not named Steph Curry. And Draymond got paid, so I think Draymond can relax a bit. But I think he's going to be different. I think having Chris Paul will allow him to not be as annoying and agitating. Like, I think they'll play off each other in a sick kind of way.
Two agitating people on the same team.
So if you imagine it, you're going to have to deal with Draymond and his attitude mouth, Chris Paul, and then you might be chasing Steph Curry around.
That's 3 headaches.
That can be pretty annoying. And I think there were a lot of times at the end of the games where Jordan Poole was in the game and shot some ill-advised shots, i.e. these last playoffs, that had Chris Paul been in that position, they get a much better shot. Now,
most definitely get to the elbow. Most definitely he's going to get down there.
Now, to run pick and roll with Chris Paul and then have Steph and Clay on the wings or in the corner, like, that ain't a bad little situation.
Man, listen.
I envision, but I think it's going to take time for them to figure out that closing lineup. But it can be scary. So
just know that Steph can take breaks this year. He's able to take a little bit of a breather.
I think they will play less minutes. That's also my issue with the Lakers is, they got a lot of depth, but they don't really have a lot of killers to me. Enough people that, hey, LeBron, you could take the night off and we can still win. I don't know if I see that. AD can be that. Austin Reeves
could be that, but I still need to see one more 4 year before I can give him that type of role.
Yeah, he needs to become Tyler Hero-ish, and I don't know if he's there yet. As a playmaker, as a scorer, he's a hustler, and he definitely hits clutch shots.
Mm-hmm.
So I think end of game, I think he can definitely be that guy. Russell can hit some big shots too, but now that everybody's kind of got paid that's my biggest concern, and that's always my concern. And they paid a lot of guys that up until that point probably wouldn't have got those deals. So I think if the Lakers run into either of those teams in the first, especially Sacramento, I think Sacramento's a bad matchup. I don't think LA wants to see them. I think they can be more physical, but I think that's a bad matchup for LA. So I think matchups will play a role, but I'm going Golden State, obviously.
Okay, nothing wrong with that. Like I said, all 3 teams show capability of making a deep playoff run anyway. You know what I mean? Whether it's the Warriors' experience, whether it's the youth of the Kings, or whether it's LeBron and others willing their way until deep into the playoffs. So all 3 teams are capable of making a deep run, in my opinion.
We will see. We would definitely see. Frank Martin, for those of you, if y'all were watching, we talked about the Ennis fight. I don't know if we'll get another one of them, but it should be a good fight this weekend. I'm not sure exactly where it is, but Frank Martin, I don't want to get this wrong. He either fights out of the Crawford or Spence camp. I forget who he's been taking pictures with. Let me see if I can pull it up really quickly. No, I did not. Was not able to pull it up, but I know he was just sparring one of them. I don't remember who it was. But good fight this weekend. It should be on Showtime. And I forget who the undercard is. There's a couple on the undercard that are solid, but they make it so hard to see. Oh yeah, Nonito Donaire is also fighting on the undercard. He's a young guy, smaller guy, but he can throw. So good fight card for y'all.
For pound, a couple of years ago, he was considered one of the top pound for pound at one time.
Yeah. So now he's solid for sure. But yeah, it should be a good fight card for y'all. If y'all ain't have nothing else to do, you can watch it with whoever you want. We don't judge here.
I'm not doing that.
Here we go again.
Yo, man. He was doing good, man.
Here we go again.
But nah, should be a good weekend of some sports. And then after this, we'll have 2 more weekends for football.
Because like preseason
first week of August.
Yeah, preseason start like preseason should be coming in about mid-August.
But I'm saying, normally that first weekend in August is the Hall of Fame game.
Yeah, I would say Hall of Fame game should be coming
camp should be kicking off in the next week or two. Everybody should be reporting. A lot of people not reporting, as we kind of detailed earlier. So
it's also another fight.
We gotta see that. We gotta see what's gonna happen. Or I guess we'll talk about it on Monday because that's the deadline for Saquon.
Yeah,
I don't think it's gonna get done.
I don't think so either.
What they reported today was they're still at a stalemate. It's not like it's close, but it's just a minor details. It's like we are where we are, and you at where you at. So I don't know. But Dev, I thought you were gonna say something else.
It's also another fight. I don't know if y'all into female boxing, but Alicia Bongardia, one of the undisputed belt champions, is also fighting this weekend too. A Saturday. I can't remember if she fighting on the Zone. I feel like it's the Zone because the Zone don't do too much.
They're terrible at promo.
They terrible. So only reason why I know about her fight is because I follow her on Instagram. She be posting about her fight. So she's most definitely throw bombs. I don't know if y'all ever seen her fight before, but
well, I'll definitely check it. Tune in.
She could beat Clarissa Shields.
Nah, that's the part because her and Clarissa is real cool.
Are they in the same weight class?
No, okay. I think Clarissa is in a higher weight class than her, but her and Clarissa is real cool. She be hanging out with Clarissa in the backstage and stuff like that. So
it is on the Zone. Just so I went to their page.
Okay,
and she is on the Zone. And Dev, why you follow her? How you find her?
I seen one of her fights before. I think she fought under a Clarissa Shields fight before, and I was just like, dang, who is this chick? And I just like the way how she was just throwing hammers. She throw hammers. I'm trying to tell y'all, man. You'd have thought that her and Clarissa would be a good fight, but I don't think she's in the same weight class. But as far as throwing,
she looks like she's super featherweight, but she all right though.
You don't get yourself in the doghouse, Ray.
She's undisputed, 130 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
What's her name? I'll follow.
Alicia Baumgardner, Allycia, and she is on the Zone, so I might have to stream that.
The Zone is where boxing careers go to die, though.
100%. Like if I was a promoter, I would never steer my fighter to the Zone. Now they might be giving out some money, but their promo is just trash, in my opinion. So, and this is apparently the second fight. Baumgardner versus Lena to do something too.
Hey, you know what? It is this is their rematch fight. This surely is.
Okay. Yeah, I'll tune in.
So y'all, you got some free nuggets there. Should be a good time. Should be a good time for everybody. Jay, appreciate the love, man. For those of you who will be in Vegas for the Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence fight, ASAP will be there at the after party. We'll be around. We, maybe meaning me, maybe not. Depends on how the money goes. But definitely we will be in the building with some exclusive coverage. So definitely stay tuned in for that. But fellas, it's been a pleasure as always. We will go into this weekend with a great opportunity to see some good fights and that much closer to football and that much closer to basketball. Also, there was an MLB All-Star game this weekend, if anybody cared. I didn't. I didn't even see any clips of anything on social media is my news. So if you don't make Twitter or Threads timeline, I probably ain't gonna see it at this point because I don't really watch on ESPN.
Are you on Threads? I haven't messed.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to ask you about Threads offline, man. You gotta explain that a little bit more to me.
Yeah, we could talk about it more, but it's a great place to grow a platform really quickly. Algorithm friendly, no ads, and basically it's the same people, so you can see them easier. But we can talk about it more.
Yeah,
okay.
It's cool. It's cool. It's still very, very early on, but it's cool.
Okay.
But we out.
And the keys, tempo, they time. Let's go.